learned recently? Everything in life has a certain balance to it. The things we do in our days, the way we interact with each other, how we feel about people, sometimes it can all seem so set in place, so certain. But in reality, it's all unbelievably precarious. And then all it takes is one thing, one evening, to flip the scales and mess everything up. So, what am I talking about? It may be obvious to some of you by now that something is wrong. Something happened. Something stupid and frustrating and completely unacceptable happened. And the who of it shouldn't be too hard for you guys to figure out. I mean, who else would it be, really? Who else could make me this upset? Who else could have invaded almost every aspect of my life and messed around with all of it? I don't get it. I thought I was wrong about him. He told me I was wrong about him, and then he proved it. He showed me that he was different, that he was, I don't know, nice. And then just when he had me convinced, he turns around and boom, we're right back where we started. I'll be back. I needed this. Caffeine should calm me down. Then hopefully I'll actually be able to tell you guys what happened tonight. I swear, sometimes these vlogs are the only thing that keep me sane. I just don't know who else I'd be able to talk to about tonight. I mean, I could tell Megan, but she'd just try and explain to me everything that happened and why it happened, and I don't need that right now. Now, I just need someone to take all my word vomit and swallow it. I am so sorry for that disgusting image. So, what happened? Yesterday at lunch, James asked me if I wanted to go get dinner with him tonight. His team was planning on meeting up at Boston Pizza for celebratory wings and all that because they got silver in their soccer tournament over the weekend. And he thought maybe we could go get dinner beforehand and then stick around for the team party afterwards. It sounded like a better alternative to working on a marketing assignment all night, so I foolishly said yes. Also, you know, it'd be nice to actually go on a date where he asked me ahead of time instead of just dragging me along kicking and screaming. I should have just taken the hint when things got off to an atrocious start and bailed before we'd even left the house. He showed up a half an hour late, which I mean is fine, because it's not like we had reservations or anything, but what was worse was that he'd come straight from soccer practice. He hadn't even showered or changed, and it was gross. He looked gross, he smelled gross, it was just gross. It was just the two of us, and we were in a corner booth, so it was private and quiet. I feel like I don't have enough quiet in my life sometimes, so this felt good. And there weren't even any strange pauses in the conversation. Definitely one of the better dates I've been on. Though the bar's not particularly high considering all that Brits put me through. So things are going fine. And then his friends show up and he starts introducing me to a couple of them, and that's when things started going wrong again. Right away it was like I was on the outside of it all, totally excluded. And James did absolutely nothing to change that. I don't even think he noticed. I ended up wedged between two of his friends who also apparently hadn't showered since 1892, while he sat across from me at the table and joked around with his team like I wasn't even there. So I try to get his attention quietly, but he isn't taking any of my hints. And that's when his coach comes over and is like, "Hey James, who's this?" And James just looks at me and smiles and says, "This is my girlfriend, Kate." And then reaches for my hand. Girlfriend, when did we decide that? So I yank my hand away and then pretend like I was flagging a waiter. The waiter comes over and the coach is still hanging around, so I roll with it and just order a refill for my water. And then, if you can believe it, James tells the guy that it's my birthday. 5 minutes later, him and a couple other staff come out and they're singing to me. You know that really annoying song they do at restaurants for your birthday? How it's not quite the real song, and how everyone in the entire restaurant is singing off key and clapping along? Yeah, they did that. And of course James got the whole team to join in, so now half the restaurant is looking at me, and once the song is done, James starts chanting, "Speech, speech, speech, speech." So naturally, I take the opportunity to say a few things. I mean, wouldn't want to let down the team, right? So I start off all nice, like, thanks guys, this means a lot, and all that stuff. And then I go with, but since it isn't actually my birthday, and a couple of the people around me are just like, what? What's going on? So James reaches for my hand again, and when I pull it away, I accidentally knock over my very full glass of water right into the lap of sweaty friend number 1. And then that guy jumps up and starts swearing at me. Though in truth, it probably did him some good. He really needed a shower. And I left. I just turned away and walked out of the restaurant. I know that I have the tendency to cause a scene, and that I have, on occasion, enjoyed drawing some unnecessary attention to myself. But this? He managed to humiliate me more than I have ever humiliated myself. I just don't understand how he can flip a switch and be someone completely different from one second to the next. It's like nothing he does or says is real. He's just putting on a show.
Hey, I came by just so I can drop.
Get out.
Well, I thought you might want
Get out! I don't want you here.
I just came to bring you back.
I don't want to see
your
you.
phone.
No.
Forgot it at the restaurant.
Yeah, sorry. I guess I just had other things on my mind.
Well, I would have gotten it to you sooner, but I had to go home and take a shower.
You couldn't have done that before our date?
So, I was thinking, every year me and a couple friends from my old school would take a week off in May and head up to my aunt and uncle's cabin, like 2 hours from here. It's right on the lake, so it's got a great view. I know it's a bit early for swimming, but there's still plenty of things to do, and I was just wondering if you think you could get permission from your dad.
No.
Oh, I mean, because I could talk to him.
He's not the issue.
What?
Are you blind or just stupid? Do you really think you could just walk into my room after a night like that and ask me to vacation with you? I mean, what the hell was all that?
You don't have to get all upset.
Excuse me? I have not had a worse date in my life. So congratulations, James. You beat out every other slimy idiot Britt has ever tried to set me up with. You topped them all. It was... I hated it. I hate you. What's your problem? You think you can just walk around and act the way you feel like acting all the time and get away with it?
Are you serious? You of all people are going to talk to me about behavioral restraint?
Me of all people?
Yeah, you!
What's that supposed to mean?
You exhibit no control over your behavior at all!
Are you kidding me?
Oh, come on. Everyone knows it. Nobody likes you because they all think that you're just going to snap and then yell at them.
Oh, as opposed to you who punches his friends in their face. The only reason people like you, James, is because for some reason they find the way you constantly get yourself kicked out of class amusing.
You have the worst reputation in the entire school. When I first got here, Grant told me that you were the most undateable chick in the entire school.
But you're dating me. Is that what happened? Is that why you're hanging out with me? Grant told you that no one could date me, so you just went, challenge accepted?
No.
I don't believe you. Get out. Get out of my room! And shut the door! As if, right? I don't know.